Child exposure to gun violence leads to aggressive feelings, post-traumatic stress disorder, and a desensitization to violence. Approximately 1/3 of Lebanese citizens privately own guns, primarily in poor neighborhoods including Lebanon's Palestinian refugee camp, Ain al-Helwa. Such a lawless environment with frequent armed conflicts between rivals traumatizes the children. No effort is taken to protect these kids, whose schools are forced to close for 2 weeks at a time.
One school in particular is located at the center of this crossfire, damaging its infrastructure and leaving the students helpless. Furthermore, ambulances struggle to access this area due to its unsafe conditions and narrow roads. Therefore, the team has designed a community service project to provide emergency and psychological first aid training to teachers as well as students, to prevent possibly fatal injury complications, since hospitals in the area can only deal with superficial gun wounds. Activities to help the children work through their trauma, such as painting, will be implemented, encouraging them to confront their feelings instead of suppressing them.
Many countries around the world have weak or non-existent juvenile justice systems, which can result in young people who break the law being treated as adults and being subjected to dangerous and inappropriate conditions, filled with conflict, violence, and abuse. The juvenile justice system in Lebanon faces numerous challenges, including a lack of digital processing of their files, storage, and access to information, as well as a lack of surveillance cameras in areas where children are transferred to. To address these challenges, a team of computer science students are developing a mobile application to facilitate the workflow of the Mount Lebanon Juvenile Court. The application will serve as an internal information sharing and storing database. It will also incorporate a security camera feature to monitor what takes place inside interrogation rooms and child protection units, protecting children against abuse, violence, and safeguarding their right to fair justice.
The World Health Organization implies that sexual violence is unwanted sexual advances and acts, which may range from verbal harassment and intimidation to physical violence, pressure, assault, and abuse. It affects women of all ages and backgrounds, especially in patriarchal societies. International campaigns such as the Me Too movement have drawn attention to this issue, encouraging victims to speak out. Sexual violence is widespread in the MENA region, particularly in Lebanon, where 78% of female respondents reported experiencing sexual harassment. Law 205 made sexual harassment a crime, but overlooks important factors like weak labor laws, lack of clear complaint, and reporting mechanisms. The Say More campaign is a 5-week anti-harassment intervention targeting 200 Palestinian adults and girls in Burj al-Rajni camp in Lebanon to end the stigma from sexual violence, lessen the stress coming from feelings of shame, fear, and isolation, and create a safe reporting mechanism inside the camp. Weekly community sessions will be organized to raise awareness on sexual harassment, including consent and the need of reporting sex-based incidents, and self-defense classes, which will be given by trainers.
By 2021, around 2 million people worldwide, including refugees and children, were forced to flee their homes due to conflict, violence, and natural disasters. These displaced populations experienced traumatic events back home, stress, and trauma during displacement. Many refugees are at risk of drug use, gang involvement, and other behavioral issues. Drugs were easily available and in use across refugee camps in Lebanon, including Ain al-Helwa, one of the largest and most overcrowded camps. In addition, due to the tough economic conditions, lack of parental supervision, and peer pressure, many young refugees were involved in drug dealing. The team designed a community service project to reduce drug addiction rates among youth in Ain al-Helwa through theater-based peer education. Using theater as an educational tool whereby peers perform an interactive play to other peers, the team will promote community awareness and understanding of the risks associated with drug use. The use of live theater is to encourage discussion, debate, and engagement on substance abuse, and to influence the knowledge, attitudes, and behavior of the youth.
Period poverty is the struggle where women are unable to afford or access menstrual products. This may resort to dangerous, unhygienic methods to manage periods, like leaving a pad on for too long, which can cause medical issues, affect their mental health, and overall quality of life. This can lead women to stay home from school and work, affecting their careers and futures. Because of Lebanon's deep economic crisis, along with a decline in its national currency, the price of menstrual products has risen, and many women in Lebanon are no longer able to buy pads or tampons. Saida is the third largest city in an underprivileged region in Lebanon that is faced with poor socioeconomic conditions, resulting in 75% of women struggling with period poverty. To address this issue, the team have designed a community service project to produce affordable, organic, local pads called SEEDS.
Short for Strengthen, Embrace, Empower, Dignify, and Support.
Seeds will be manufactured by women using local biodegradable and sustainable raw materials, specifically banana stems that consist of the strong fiber with a high absorption quality. One banana stem can produce almost 3,000 menstrual pads. Driven by women for women, Seeds is designed to empower women as workforces and support women, giving them access to affordable menstrual products.
Asbestos is a naturally occurring, strong, and heat-resistant mineral fiber that has been widely used in construction. It's a cheap and easy-to-access material. However, long-term exposure to it can lead to a lung disease called mesothelioma, and industries are actively trying to downplay its dangers. Lebanon prohibited the import of asbestos in 1998, but did not ban the circulation and use of pre-existing products that are largely in the form of pipes produced at the Eternit factory in Shakka. After the factory shut down in 2000, the lung disease cases doubled because the products were already installed in houses. 80% of these cases were linked to the factory of around 700 employees in an industrial town with a population of 15,000. The local community has been using tons of asbestos-lined pipes that the factory dumped. First, our team of 5 students created an advocacy campaign to remove these pipes. Second, we plan on using specialized paint to insulate the asbestos roofs on buildings next to the factory. Third, we plan on a public declaration to grab the attention of the media. And lastly, we plan on creating programs to promote the safe handling of asbestos and to inform the public about the health concerns.
Around 258 million children and youth worldwide do not go to school. In Afghanistan, the 2021 takeover by the Taliban restricted girls and women in grade 6 and above from their right to education. Many forcibly displaced Afghans have sought refuge in neighboring countries to ensure their daughters continue their education. For those who remain in Afghanistan, however, access to education is a tremendous challenge. The Summer Community Service Project was created to address the challenges of education access among marginalized and refugee youth in Afghanistan and beyond, offering free online courses and learning resources to prepare students for scholarships and higher education opportunities. This project operates discreetly, offering a safe and comfortable environment for students to learn and express themselves. Reproductive health has been a global challenge, especially among women refugees in Lebanon. Today, women and girls make up approximately half of the world's refugees. In Lebanon, approximately 52% of the Syrian refugee population are female, and 27% are girls under the age of 18. Among the most significant challenges faced by this population is the lack of access to sexual and reproductive health care services due to the lack of access to formal schooling, the absence of sexual education in public school, low school enrollment, and societal taboos on sexual activity. To address this issue, our team has designed a community service project, CSP, that involves the creation and implementation of a culturally sensitive educational family planning module for children of all genders. The aim of this module is to inform school children and raise awareness on sexual and reproductive health care and rights. By the end of 2021, almost 90 million people worldwide were forced to flee their homes due to conflict, violence, and natural disasters. These forcibly displaced populations include refugees who have crossed an international border to seek safety in another country. This makes it exceptionally difficult for refugee children and adolescents to have access to educational activities that can help them cope with their trauma and isolation. Syrian refugees in informal settlements in Lebanon, one of which is El Yasmin in Dib'a, is characterized by unhealthy living conditions and lack of access to basic services, such as education, which only 60% of these children have access to. While schools provide the core education, extracurricular activities are essential in opening up space for refugees to express themselves and develop their social, technical, and soft skills. Via our project Through Our Lens, adolescents will have the chance to learn the new skill of photography through a series of workshops, which will empower them, support their mental well-being, and help them deal with their traumatic experiences.
As a response to the electricity crisis in Lebanon, more homes are installing solar panels. However, this is leading to an increase in solar panel e-waste, which is expected to rise by an alarming 4,000% by 2030. Exposure to chemicals emitted from e-waste poses major health risks for the public and waste scavengers, leading to an increase in chronic diseases. In Beirut, an assessment estimated that there were 540 acid batteries on Omar Bayham Street. Once the solar batteries run out, they will be discarded in landfills, releasing 10,800 pounds of lead and 1,620 gallons of sulfuric acid into the environment. Waste scavengers, often miners, gather and sell the rubbish to Lebanese brokers, who then process or resell it. To address this issue, the community service project Rebattery has designed a business model that encompasses the entire spectrum of e-waste collection, from refurbishing to resale, ensuring the safe handling of the waste management process, as well as creating jobs for unemployed and young scavengers.
Approximately 2 billion people around the world do not have access to clean drinking water because of freshwater pollution. In Lebanon, the Ministry of Energy and Water lacks the infrastructure to support its freshwater sources due to poor sewage systems and improper waste disposal. The Hasbani River travels 40 kilometers through South Lebanon as a main water source for Hasbaya and neighboring towns. Recent tests of the river's water recorded cancer-causing agricultural pesticides, sewage bacteria, and illness-causing microbes like salmonella, as well as high concentrations of heavy metals and other chemicals that go far beyond guidelines set by World Health Organization. The CSP is a campaign showing the municipality of Hasbaya how constructed wetlands, a low-cost and eco-friendly way of water purification, can be used to clean the Hasbani River and promoting its use to ultimately ensure the health and safety of the local community.
Ecotourism is a form of tourism that focuses on visiting natural areas. It is popular in Lebanon, which is famous for its natural sceneries. Tourism has been a primary source of income and employment for many Lebanese. In 2018, tourism accounted for 7% of Lebanon's overall economy. Due to the political situation, certain areas in Lebanon have received more attention than others. In addition, the recent economic crisis affected the tourism sector severely. Akkar, which includes Akroum, a mountain with various towns, is one of the poorest locations in Lebanon. This village has been neglected by the Lebanese states, but the population of Akkar is diverse, includes a mix of local residents as well as a high number of Syrian refugees, and yet it has a lot to offer for ecotourism. To promote Akroum as an emerging ecotouristic site, our team has designed several interventions which include the development of infrastructure for a well-equipped cultural hiking trail, the design of marketing and social media strategy, and the expansion of economic activities.